Hi, my name is Karine. After reading Heidegger's article, Heidegger said, accordingly, space received their essential being from locals and not from space. So, place and space are a conceptual pair, for one rarely makes an appearance without the other, and that they really mean is far from self-evident. Heidegger thinks of the bridge like a picture frame. Heidegger seems to suggest that the bridge itself is necessary to gather the fourfold. However, what's important, it's not the presence of human structure, but living close to and having an intimate understanding of things and places. Expanding on the relationship between man and space, by man we understand dwellers staying within the fourfold among things. Then, for Heidegger, building it produced things as local is closer to the essence of space and to its essential origins than any other mathematical or geometrical explanation. To begin with the rig 4, I try to relate this model to the code by presenting the cylinder as the space and the paper as the place. So here we can see the shadow of the cylinder is making a combination between the cylinder and the paper. To continue with the ring on, the kinetic model, here I separated the place and the space because I already mentioned that place and space are a conceptual pair, so without each other they can rarely have an appearance. So here when we combine the space and the place, we can see the cylinder is complete. So after the blast, we can still see a piece in it. So today the building stands as a trace capable of a full embodiment of history. For my project, I'm gonna talk about the citadel of Beirut and the history of EcoShart. So in these pictures, I'm showing the citadel engraving from 19th century and showing the view of fortification defending the port, and in the second picture the interior of the fortification. So the citadel was built by the Crusaders in 1172 on the still visible remains of ancient of fortification in the 17th century. The Shahab family, who made it the seat of their power, they furnished the massive feather tower. Phoenician Beirut regained its role as a maritime center. Large quantities of crushed rock were piled against the fortifications of the old Canaanite city wall in order to create a stone-paved embankment. The eastern entrance has survived, along with its strayways, leading up to a gate in the enclosure wall. Excavations have shown that many repairs were carried out during Phoenician and Persian periods. The remains of three Hellenistic towers cut into the Phoenician glacis reflect another heyday in Beirut's history. During the Seleucid influence, a wall was built around the Tal. Moving forward with this picture, it's the urban plan of Beirut. It's completed in 1943. Proposed a project based on major thoroughfares, the creation of a new town, and a project to reorganize the congested districts in the center of town. The founding principles of this type of planning were very much inspired by those of the modern movements. Ecochart proposed a system of circulation classified into three broad categories. The first, bypasses, the second, crossroads, and the last one, cut to the heart. The areas allocated to each owner must allow room to avoid street frontage and allow for the location of buildings in the middle of gardens. The creation of the new city offers a new way of living for workers, which should provide, in addition to modernity, more fairness. In the course of his time in the Levant, Ecochart introduced a new way, and by introducing the premises of urbanism of the modern movement, he began a new form of intervention in urban space under French administration, which did not become widespread until after independence. So let's talk more about Ecochart. So he designed with another French architect, Claude Lecoeur, the Collège Protestant in Beirut, along with a series of another high schools and hospitals, and also Dar al-Handasa. To continue with, l'Atelier Parisien d'Urbanisme was the first reconstruction plan of Beirut in 1977. It followed a joint public-private approach to preservation. Since the damage done to Beirut's central district by 1977 was not extensive, so the plan preserved most of the city's existing urban fabric. It also proposed that the less damaged parts of the central district would be reconstructed and rehabilitated by local property owners, and that the heavily damaged parts would be reconstructed by small-scale real estate corporations. The shares of such corporation would be distributed according to the previously existing legislation, which stipulates that real estate owner would hold 75% of the shares and the government would hold 25%. Since the 1980s, a new group of historians has emerged in Lebanon, and these historians have begun to seriously investigate the issue of colonial planning. They are studying developments that took place in the early 20th century in order to understand the evolution of the city of Beirut today. Those historians have adopted what can be referred to as a new historical consequences, which departs from old methodologies that were limited to studying the effects of the physical aspects of colonial planning on the city's contemporary planning. and concentrate on examining the ideologies and underlying colonial planning as well as the process that define it. Saliba believes that such a change in the historian's perspective of planning is due to the fact that the modernist approach to planning, which revolved around the actions of the public sector, began to be questioned and even disqualified in the 1990s. On the other hand, a new consequences has emerged that addresses decentralization and participation in planning. Saliba mentions that one manifestation of the appearance of new trends in historical thinking in Lebanon is a 1998 symposium entitled Imported Exported Urbanism, which was held at the American University of Beirut.